Today on the Hopefulist, it's Grateful Monday, plus how you can live your very best life. New and improved, who asked you to new and improve it? And the Eagles heartbreaker.
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit Hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Good morning. It is Monday. Yes, that's right. It is Monday, October 21st, 2019, day 39 of Gotta Get On Ellen. I really need to get up and be uploading more videos of myself and my podcast partner, Tucker. I have to become more annoying. I'm not being annoying enough. You would think that would be easy for me, right? I know, because I annoy so many people. So I have now decided that every Monday we're going to do Grateful Mondays. Again, in another attempt to get you to start that gratitude journal. What I'm going to do is every Monday I'm going to read certain entries from my own personal gratitude journal to kind of show you an example of things that I write down in my gratitude journal. You can write down whatever you want. Some people say it should only be small stuff because the point of it is to try and look for things to be grateful for throughout your day. I don't necessarily agree with it all has to be small things. I do think it has to be different things. Like if you want to be grateful for your beautiful house, that's fine. Write it down. I'm grateful for my beautiful house, but don't write that down every single day. There are a couple of things that I kind of say a lot. A lot of them have to do with Tucker. Snuggling with my girl. One of them in here is Tucker feeling better. She was not feeling well at the beginning of last week. She was limping and kind of moping around. Put her on some medicine. She's doing much better. So that was one of the things I wrote down in my gratitude journal. Tucker is feeling much better. A lot of them has to do with reading and books. A lot of them have to do with eating. But, like I said, as long as you mix it up and just try to look for things throughout the day that you can write down at the end of the day. If you need a little help, I do have my guided gratitude journal, and I reposted that in the group page, and I think I pinned it to the top. It's under announcements, so that whenever you need to just kind of check with it, it's going to be right there on the group page under announcements. And you can see it whenever you need a little bit of inspiration on what to focus on. So I'm going to go over some of the ones that I had put down for all of last week. One of them being Joe fixed the bedroom light. I was very grateful for that. The light was not working at all. And you don't realize how much you really need a light in your bedroom until you have to pack for a vacation without it. And then unpack for a vacation without it. If I had been still getting up and commuting to work, we would have had to have that light fixed long ago because I definitely needed my light in the bedroom when it was dark out getting ready for work. Another thing I was grateful for was getting Tucker's grooming appointment right away. Typically, I have to wait a couple of weeks, and she squeezed us in within just a couple of days. I was very happy about that because my girl was looking pretty homeless. And now she's freezing all the time. She's constantly shivering. She still has her Eagles jersey on from last night. I usually only keep that on for game day and or the game because it's a little big on her. So I will take that off today. Not because we lost. We're both still Eagles fans. But just because, and it's not very warm, to be honest with you. So another thing I had written in my gratitude journal last week was the porch being nice and bright and sunny. So I sat outside on the porch and read for a while. What else do I have? Kathy loaned me her book. If you recall, I had gone to book club on Thursday night, and I did not read the book because I only could get it on audio. And she's like, oh, I'll just loan you mine. I'm like, oh, great. So I didn't have to worry about going to the library, buying the book, anything like that. So she loaned it to me. So I guess I started it Friday morning and I finished it Saturday evening. Joe says to me, you finished that book already? I'm like, yeah, it was a pretty easy read. They all told me that was a pretty easy read. But I enjoyed it immensely. And that's what Joe always says. He's like, the amount that you read is astonishing. I'm like, I know. I read a lot of books. And one other thing I had written down in my gratitude journal for last week is Joe got home from work early on Friday. He was let go at 2 instead of the normal 6. So we got to hang out and have a cool Friday night at home. And then even Saturday, we had a nice little fire pit going, a nice little fire going. So that was something very nice. I enjoyed that very much. So like I said, I'm trying to use this as an example. I will be talking about some of the entries from my own gratitude journal each and every Monday for Grateful Monday. And hopefully it will inspire you to do your own gratitude journal if you are not already. Lori just mentioned on the group page that she has been doing one thanks to my suggestion. So that makes me very happy. I'm hoping that she's seeing a difference. And if she hasn't yet, she will. She will. It's kind of changing the way that your mind thinks. It doesn't happen overnight. But just writing down those 5 things kind of changes your mind from the negative to the positive. So I went to Wawa on Friday to grab a sandwich for lunch. I love Wawa's tuna. I have always been a big fan of their tuna fish. I'm not sure what it is about it. Just love their tuna fish. So I go and I get a shorty hoagie with tuna. That's all I get on it. No cheese, no lettuce, no tomato, just cheese on a hoagie roll. Now, I had eaten it this way for a very long time. And way back in the day, I remember a woman that worked at Wawa. I would go in and order the hoagie. And finally, she said to me, you don't get anything else on it. Because if I were you, I would just order some tuna from the deli section and buy a roll because you're going to save like $3. I was like, oh, that is brilliant. And I did that for a long time. But now they have taken the option of just purchasing the tuna off the menu. So now I have to pay $4.50 for a tuna hoagie, which is okay. But as I was ordering my tuna hoagie on Friday, they said under the option, new and improved. So I look up and look at the deli workers right away and say, new and improved? What'd you do to my tuna? I didn't need it new and improved. She's like, well, they laughed, of course. And she's like, well, it's like less mayonnaise, more tuna. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a go. It tastes pretty much the same. It does seem a little bit drier. I'm not a huge mayonnaise fan, so I thought maybe I would like it with less mayonnaise, but it seems to be a little more, that little, just a little dry, just missing a little something. I wish they would stop newing and improving things that don't need to be new and improved. Just saying. Who said it needed to be new and improved, Wawa? Did you just take it upon yourself? Is this from customer feedback? Because you didn't ask me. You did not ask me. So I did stay up late to watch that horrific Eagles game. I'm a little bit late today. I'm going to blame it on them. I even went to bed before the game was over because it was just so heartbreaking. I mean, Carson Wentz got sacked 3 times before I went to bed. He may have been sacked more. This is a guy who, never gets sacked. They just couldn't seem to get it together. I don't know if they took the game for granted, which happens with the Eagles a lot. That was the Eagles of the past, though. Before they won the Super Bowl, they used to always, just kind of get cocky and full of themselves and not really prepare properly for a game. And that's what it seemed like to me last night. They just seemed like they didn't prepare because I guess since the Cowboys lost to the Jets last week, which really, let's admit it, that was way more embarrassing than our loss to them last night. I guess they came back. They needed to prove something last night. And I think maybe the Eagles just discounted that fact. So they wiped the floor with us. They wiped the field with us. And it's a little embarrassing. I mean, they're still my team. It's okay. Season's not over. There were some stats in the beginning of the game saying that if we went to 3-4, that it's going to be very tough to get to the playoffs. We shall see. Season's not over yet. Got a lot of football left to play. But yeah, it's very disappointing to especially stay up late. You're waiting all day for the game to come on, and then just to be disappointed like that. I mean, I'm sure. And I have to say, the players really did seem remorseful. Even Zach Ertz was interviewed, and he said, I really feel bad for the fans. Thank you, Zach, because players don't normally say stuff like that. They're normally too worried. Most of the time, it seems like players take the losses more in stride than the fans do, which is fine. It's a job to them, but it would be nice if they were as invested as the fans are, because, we live and die by this stuff. I mean, I do anyway. Love me my football. So it was a terrible game. We were humiliated on national television, and to boot, I had to put up with Chris Collingsworthless. Ugh. He does have a little bit more respect for the Eagles since they've won the Super Bowl, and he even seemed to talk well about them last night before the slaughter, so now he probably has no respect for us once again. But whatever, I don't care. I have no respect for him. He's a loser, and I wish that he would just go away. Go away, Chris Collingsworthless. Nobody wants you here. Nobody wants you here. So, I'm going to move on to the very fun topic of, if your pet had a real job, what would he or she do for a living? And you have to check out this picture if you didn't see it on the Hopefulist page. It is a most adorable picture of a dog with glasses sitting at a desk reading a dog magazine. So I have to tell you that my girl, Tucker, would be a vacuum cleaner. She would be a professional vacuum cleaner. She has been called Hoover many times in her life because she eats everything. She eats everything off the floor. And I don't just mean food. I mean lint. I mean fuzz. I mean dirt. I mean rocks. Toys. Everything. So my husband chimed in and said, kitchen floor cleaner. Yeah, Joe was cooking yesterday. He made pound cake. Remember when we were talking about the Stocks pound cake last week? So good. I said, why don't you try and make pound cake? I love it. It's like one of my favorites. And I probably should not have requested it because now I'll be like, are you going to make pound cake this weekend? And the pound cake's going to go right into my body as extra pounds. Yeah, that's why it's called pound cake. It's actually called pound cake because it's a pound of ingredients. It's a pound of butter, pound of flour, pound of sugar, something like that. I don't know. I'm not the baker in the house. He did pretty good for his first time. The top, always my favorite, amazing, was a little not all the way done in the middle. We've got to figure, he's got to make some adjustments and figure it out. He will. I have high hopes for him. He has mastered the cookie recipe and everything else that he has done. He also was making some chili yesterday, a nice comfort food, stick to your ribs kind of deal for the rainy Sunday that we were having. It was cool. It was perfect. There was football on. It all just gelled. So Tucker was in the kitchen almost all day yesterday, just licking up crumbs. Just licking up crumbs all day long. So, some of your answers. Denise says, my dog would be a caregiver. Amy says, a food critic. Yeah, I don't know about critic. Probably just inhaler. Marcy posted a picture of her cat covered in a blanket. She looks a little bit like Gizmo from Gremlins. She said, blanket tester? Lauren posted a picture of her dog in a hoodie with the hood up. Said, gangsta rapper. Yes. Lori says, a Zumba instructor, as she posted a picture of her dog running down the beach. Very cool.